This is the food packet of salt. It's a compact, lightweight ration of high nutrient density for individuals in non-resupply situations, such as assault and recon missions. It's designed to be used for up to 10 days at the rate of 1 packet per person per day. So it's a restricted calorie 24-hour ration. It weighs exactly 1 pound or 453 grams, and it contains on average 1,550 calories each. It came in 6 different menus. Menu number 3 is scalloped potatoes with pork bars. Produced for U.S. Army Natick Research and Development Laboratories, Natick, Massachusetts. And it was packed by Right Away Foods, McAllen, Texas. I want to thank Jeff Hooper for sending me this ration. He sent me 3 of them. Menu 3, Menu 4, and Menu 5. Chicken and rice, chicken a la king, and scalloped potatoes with pork. So this is going to be a 3-part series. We'll first start off with Menu 3, then 4, and then 5. He had the foresight of saving them for this long, and he wanted them to go to the right collector and somebody that could share these rations with the world. So here we are. Let's check this out. Okay, so right off the bat, enriched sweet chocolate. Orange beverage bar. Look at that, the vacuum seal's still good. Eat as is or break into small pieces in a canteen cup. Add 8 fluid ounces of water. Stir until dissolved. That's awesome. Look at that, beef jerky. The seal on that seems like it's kind of a little bit off over the years, so it's got give to it. Might be okay. Get a classic MCI spoon. Granola bar, oatmeal cookie bar. You would see these later on in ration cold weathers, and the RCW was first put into service in 1989. So this ration was made in 1981. Prototypes, which, by the way, it says right on the front, prototype. They were never put into major production. A fig bar. So the advantages to this ration were it was lightweight, high density foods which are convenient to use, palatable, and may be eaten both dry or rehydrated. You get an accessory packet. Matches, toilet paper, coffee instant, cream substitute, sugar, salt, a mixing bag. I read this thing didn't have a mixing bag, so that's really cool to see. So they have a mixing bag for your main course. And then your scalloped potatoes with pork. Just amazing. So there it is, all laid out. A restricted calorie 24-hour ration prototype that never made it past testing. And Jeff Hooper saved these for over 30 years, 35 years. He also saved a questionnaire form. We'll be checking that out at the end of the video. Only one thing left to do. Alright, so let's get this out onto a tray. Nice. Okay, so we're going to first start off by checking out this accessory packet. We want to get that mixing bag out of there for the potatoes with pork. It smells just like any old accessory packet, like plastic and matches. Alright, so you get your toilet paper. Here's your creamer, which feels like it's probably okay, but I'm not going to use it. Table salt, iodized. Coffee instant type 1. Here's your mixing bag. Crumble entree bars into small pieces, place into this bag. Add 8 ounces of hot water. Seal bag with closure. Wait 10 minutes. Here's your closure device. Pack of sugar. And then some standard matches. And that's it. Save every bit of packaging for this ration. It'll still be great for display. Okay, so now let's check out the main course. What is that slow hiss? Well, that smells okay. Maybe a little bit stale, but not too bad. Look at those bars. These bars were not produced for very long, only in rations used for testing, and then Rafco freeze-dried, which is Right Away Foods Corporation. Same company. Rafco is Right Away. Well, Rafco had the first contract for the ration cold weather, and they used these. Now I'm going to add 2 of the 3 bars and eat 1 dry. You know the advantages for this also. It was suitable for cold climates. Everything in here, low moisture components. Granted, if you were in a cold weather climate, you would probably need to eat 2 of these minimum, per day. Crumble this up. We'll add about 5 ounces of water. After being rehydrated here, right after you add water, it doesn't smell as stale. It doesn't smell too bad at all. That's a relief. It's always better to add less than more when it comes down to this sort of thing. So, we add just a little. There we go. Now I feel better. It looks kind of like a barf bag, but sorry. There you go. Closed up. Set that right there. So now let's move over to these other components. First starting off with this coffee instant type 1. Alright, so now the granola bar and oatmeal cookie bar, you had them both in the same packaging. Was there a hiss? And they're individually sealed in a thin plastic. They smell okay, maybe just slightly rancid. Oh wow, look at this. There's your oatmeal cookie bar. There's your granola bar, which that label came off too. There's like a oil separation. It's like greasy. So here's the beef jerky. What's the verdict on this? Oh. Well, it's black. This is not looking so hot. Look at that. Actually, these look worse than from that RLW 30. There. Listen to this. That's probably not edible anymore. So you got 4 pieces of it. Oh yeah, that's... I know when meat, like dried meat, is like really far past even its last leg of really safe to eat. It smells like death. And that brings me over to this orange beverage bar. Oh yeah, I gotta get a sip of this real quick. Yeah, that's the perfect coffee. That's my favorite coffee ever. The orange beverage bar. Oh wow. This thing, moisture got to it at some point. I've seen these things in stock photos. They definitely don't look like this. Jeez, look at that. That's incredible. It still smells good. It smells like Tang. I feel like taking a bite right out of it. I've had black lemonade from World War II, so that's not going to stop me. Enriched sweet chocolate. Oh yeah. Okay, look at the name on this. I can't wait to show you. That smells pretty good, actually. Maybe just a little teeny bit off. Actually, it's pretty rancid, but it's not bad enough to say no to. Candy chocolate bar with toffee, enriched, sweet, type 7, style 1. And then your fig bar. Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh, man. But look at this. Before I should close it up. You know that said Fig Newton. Old school Fig Newtons from the early 80s. Okay, from here. Granola cereal bar. They're still produced to this day and used in food packet survival general purpose improved. Then the oatmeal cookie bar. This ration requires about 25 ounces of water to fully rehydrate the components. Menu 3 took 25 ounces. That menu 4 actually requires 35 ounces. Menu 5, 27 ounces. So they're all different. Look at how that ink just bleeds off onto everything. Look at that, it's on my fingers. It is totally past the point of anything edible. But, yeah, we'll just look at it. It's got ink everywhere. It's even on the tray. I've never seen anything quite like that before. And then for one of these, I'm just gonna put this one to the side. We'll just check out one. So there's some bloom to it. It's essentially Hershey's Tropical Bar, but with toffee added to it. Look at that thing. Check out this dehydrated bar first. Wow. The flavor, I mean, like, minus the aspect of it being spoiled, isn't too bad. I mean, like, for what it once was, had to have been pretty awesome. The thing is it's not extremely spoiled. I think this will still be relatively edible. I hope. But it just absorbs all the moisture in your mouth. I mean, eating something like this on the go, probably not the most practical thing. I can imagine guys, if they weren't drinking enough water, they'd be getting quite the stomach ache. You know, eating 3 of these bars within a period of 20 minutes or something, just hitting your stomach like that, yeah, you'll definitely need enough water. Yeah, a little bit too crunchy. Has a high sodium content. I mean, this is very thirst provoking. Now this, we'll have to check it out. Oh, wow. Ooh. 36 of these rations came to a case. A case weighed 39 pounds. This ration breaks down to 16% protein, 35% fat, and 49% carbohydrates. And here's the main source of your protein, this and your beef jerky. Check that out. What's that black piece? I'm gonna sift that out. Oh, what is that? I don't like that. The rest of it looks fine. It's not overhydrated. It's not too bad. That looks pretty good. If you were sweating like crazy, you'd definitely throw the salt on it, but 4 grams of salt, not necessary right now. Yeah. You know, it's definitely more enjoyable rehydrated, I will say. It's really not the most flavorful thing in the sense of just a basic savory and salty with a bunch of potatoes and pork. That the pork seems pretty lean. It almost seems like there's a cheese sauce in there. I think there's almost certain there is. And it's really tastes like a really stale, sitting in your fridge for like a few days longer than it should, home cooked meal. Now, for what it tasted like, 30 years ago, it would have been better. I'll say that. But That actually is pretty good, minus the staleness. And follow it up with an orange beverage bar. Look at this thing. Oh. That is delicious. It looks like a little bit rough, but the flavor, it just tastes like a Tang bar. I mean, like literally a bar of really sweet, orange beverage base you'd get out of an old school MRE. Compressing that into a food bar, that is absolutely fascinating. The fig bar, I'm sorry, I'm not eating any of this. It's just something that I don't find too appealing. Along with this beef jerky that I've had beef from 1899 that smells identical to this. I never thought I'd smell that again. I really didn't. But there it is, significantly newer than that other beef. I mean, you could eat it, you might get the sweats, you might not, you might get something else. It's just not worth it. Especially with something like that, I'll bite into it, it'll just be like a dry nightmare. So then the granola cereal bar. Okay, so that's stale, but it's not spoiled. It tastes fine. Has a little bit of a stale follow-up, but that's a different formula than the Ration cold weather granola bars. It has a little bit less cinnamon, actually a lot less. I think its shortening content is lower. This is like a really dry and kind of bland version of what it eventually became. It's a different formula. It seems to have more roughage, and to follow it up with the oatmeal cookie bar. That tastes like a, strange as it sounds, it kind of tastes like a classic, donut, with nutmeg. There's nutmeg in there. And some cinnamon. That's fine. This is edible. And back to the scalloped potatoes with pork. For how stale it is, it's like I want to keep eating it, but I don't know. Actually, let's check out this chocolate bar. That doesn't look very appetizing, but I'll give it a shot here. A very cheap chocolate with these little toffee bits. It's very bloomed, as you can see. It's leaving a certain disturbing aftertaste that really, it's telling me, it's sending signals up to my brain to do not continue any further with this chocolate. That is not food anymore. And the way it smells, I don't have anything to prove with this. My apologies. I just don't care. I'm not going to eat that. But this is far too fascinating to not eat the whole thing. So yeah, having a bite of this. Now this orange beverage bar, that coffee, the granola cereal bar, and then oatmeal cookie bar, those are the most enjoyable and longest lasting components in this ration. Now this thing right here, I mean, it looks like it's turned. It's like candy. Just because it's shaped in a bar, it just makes it so much more special. It's a texture thing. It has a nice chew, a little bit gritty, a strong citrus flavor. Yeah, following it up with some coffee right after, probably not the best idea, but coffee instant type 1 or type 2, either one, they really are some of the most unique spray dried coffees that you can get. Incredibly smooth, a light acidity. It's the best. So the rest of this, I'm going to take these, I'm in a doggy bag, and same with this. Got another one here. And if I don't have a stomach ache later, I'll finish this up too, because I don't like letting rare food go to waste. Then the rest of it, I might package that back into its packaging. A very good chance I will. It's disgusting. The fig bar I'm going to throw out. It should probably be set on fire. The chocolate, I have the other one for display, and that's good enough for me. So this is part 1 of 3 of a series for the food packet of salt prototype. It was a great idea, very innovative for its time. I can say it's an effective ration. It's a shame it was never adopted, but I can see why. The food packet long range patrol was also a restricted calorie 24-hour ration. There was really no need for this thing. Even though it has several hundred more calories than the LRP, 200 more than the modern version, 400 more than the version of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Again, I want to thank Jeff Hooper for sending me these 3 rations. He also sent me a questionnaire form for this ration that we're going to check out after the end of this video, after the credits. If you want to stick around, you can check that out. But in the meantime, I'm going to clean up the set here. This is Steve 1989. I hope you liked the video. I'll be coming back at you with something new. Or old. Alright, cool. See ya. Okay, so here's the questionnaire form. Look at this, it's in mint condition. Pause as needed. You can read this. And that's it. Army, Fort Benning, Georgia. His booklet. I'm going to have to keep this in the perfect shape that it's in. And that's the end of part 1 of this series. It'll be the longest part of it. The next 2 will just be reviewing the rations and picking up on any potential information that was maybe left out on this one. Alright, cool. See ya.